Another great weeks in the book for my Tiers League. Everything running way smoother this week. I love what Tier 1 did. You know what I mean? They take the criticism and they, you know what I mean? They gonna get their share to that. They did really good. I see a lot of improvement. I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of man really lock in this week in Tier 1. More people locking in Tier 2. And a lot of people locking in Tier 3. I see a lot of improvements overall for my tiers. I ain't gonna lie, this probably was the best week when it comes to man GMing, making move, trying to improve the team, trying to learn, and just trying to be better. And like I said, I appreciate that, dog. Like I appreciate that, like when I like say certain stuff, people don't take it the wrong way, and they lock in and they just try and be better. And like I said, once you do better, I gonna do better as a commish, and I appreciate it so much. With that being said, let's start off with Big 12, Week 4 recap. We're going to start off on top with me versus DT. I took that matchup right there. It wasn't really much to talk about. DT had a good week. It wasn't really a close game from the jump. Like I said, ain't much to really say when it comes to that matchup right there. Second matchup, we had Manny versus Iva. Boy, Iva catch a flat that week. Me, what happened, but he played against Manny and he played against his player that he about to have on his team, Joker. But he take a L this week, but in the long run, he win. He win that one there. I ain't gonna lie, his team. We got to see what his team do this week. But yeah, Manny took that matchup right there. Next game we had Vachel versus Chamoy. Now that game right there was a neck to neck till the last day. Chamoy took the win. Vasco just can't beat Chamoy, man. Like, man, 0-4 against C now. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's a crypto. But Chamoy took that one. I ain't gonna like this matchup here was a really good matchup. The man went toe to toe with their pickups. They do a really good job. Like, the man did a great job when it comes to making pickups this week. And it was a good fight. It was, like I said, it was neck to neck from Monday all the way going to Sunday. Not a game. Let me tell you about this game. Gino was in control the whole week. I mean, what happened on this Saturday night? Rain went crazy on Gino. Crazy. Gino was up by 300 talking crazy, and Rain tell you think I lose? Rain got a badge, boy. He get a fucking comeback kid badge and purple 2 weeks in a row. He do the same thing. He do it to me last week. He do it to Gino. Rain right there took that matchup. And Rain right now, yeah, boy. Rain does beat two big dogs. He beat the two big dogs. So I don't know. Rain looking really scary right now. Next, we had Chris versus Jew. This another matchup. It wasn't really much. This is one of those bad schedule matchups for Jew. I ain't got much to say about him. I ain't gonna lie, I was surprised he didn't make them trades. I might have schedule trader, but he stick to his Fred. He stick with his Jalen Green, and yeah, he just said, man, I gonna just take this L. I guess man trying to improve from his mistakes from last year, but I don't know. Chris took that matchup right there. The next game we had Plucky versus Richie. I thought this was 2-3 and old man playing against each other. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought this one here would have been a game of the week. I don't know. For Monday, that fuck was a bye week. Me, I don't talk crazy about my dog Plucky, but they play each other again this week, so I think Plucky gonna come back and get back. And this is the first time Richie ever beat Plucky too, so. Yeah, and you can tell me, son, that fucker wanted to beat it. I tell her Richie and his revenge tour. Richie and his revenge tour. He get back from everybody. But that right there is your week 4 recap when it comes to Big 12. Moving on. So this is your Big 12 power rankings for week 5. We have Richie at the number 1 spot, Iva at number 2, Rain at number 3, me at 4, Plucky at number 5, Chris at number 6, Chamoy at 7, Gino at 8, Ju at 9, Vachel at 10, Mania 11, and DT is at 12. I ain't gonna lie, when you watch these power rankings, Richie being on top is weird. You know what I mean? Richie having a great year. This he comeback year. The man talked some crazy shit that he last year, and he has on his revenge tour. And you know what I mean? When you winning, you gain respect. When you losing, you don't get no type of respect. Because Richie last year, boy oh boy, week by week, that man will gain that team, son. Well, man going off. I ain't gonna lie to you. Man having a great year. A great year. Man team something serious over there. I like what Rain doing. I ain't gonna lie. He's kind of surprised me. These last 2 weeks. But I like shit like that. I like when I feel like somebody gonna underperform and they prove me wrong. And he's somebody so far that proving me wrong. And ain't really much else. I ain't gonna lie, Jew and Vashko. I gotta pick it up. I my top ranks. Let me see what you gonna do. After a slow start, ain't much. I mean, everybody's still close. Ain't like a big gap. So this week 5 conference matchups. This is the matchups for this week is me versus Vashko, Iva versus DT, Manny versus Shamoy, Rain versus Chris, Richie versus Plucky, Gino versus Jew. I ain't gonna lie, fuck up on my parlay last week. And let me see if I can get this week. Me versus Vashko, I gonna pick me, dog. Of course I gonna pick me. Iva versus DT, I ain't gonna lie to you. I might be the only one I feel this way. But I think DT gonna beat Iva. I get DT to beat Iva this week. No hate, no hate. I just feel DT get this one. Manny versus Shamoy. It be a shit. But I get Shamoy this week. Rain versus Chris. I get Rain this week, man. Hey, one thing about when I had to pick players, they hate that thing. The man say it's bad luck. The man say once they pick somebody, they gonna lose. But yeah, I get Rain versus Chris. I get Richie versus Plucky. I ain't gonna lie, the way Richie spanked Plucky last week, I might gotta pick Richie again. I get Richie again and he revenge tour. Gino versus Jew. This a good match. This gonna be a great matchup here. This matchup here. This a TNT. This the big dog. I like this matchup. I think it's a game in a week. I don't know. I think Gino gonna pull this one off this week. Yeah, I gonna go with Gino. I think Gino gonna get back this week. But that's it right there for your Big 12 power rankings. I gonna be back next week for Big 12, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Tier 3. We're gonna start off with the Tier 3 Week 4 recap. We're gonna start on top with big boy Jed. Jed is 4-0. Jed took that matchup versus Ian. That game was close. Ian was busting Jed up the whole week. The whole week until, Jed pull away down the stretch. Yeah, tell the man he think Joker, that big fat dude, gonna save you. Well, shit, Jed say yeah he did. And it looking good for Jed. He looking like he ain't gonna be in no demotion. Ian on the other hand, 3-1. Ain't looking good for him. He's sinking slowly. He start off the season 1-0 and he on a 3-game losing streak. He got to fix the team. This was a good matchup too. Kimoy versus Risha. This game right here was really good. I ain't gonna lie to you. And Risha pull away. She is also 4-0. Kimoy is 2-2. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I like what Risha doing this year. She kind of surprising me. I didn't think she was gonna have the year she had so far. She started off really good. She making good pickups. I think she made some good trades last night too. So she active, and I want to have more females in my league, dog. My thing is, when it comes to adding females, I don't like how dudes like to just talk because there's females. They just don't know ball. And it's like, if I gonna bring certain females, then I gonna bring females that know ball. Respect the girl, the young lady know ball. She been know ball. And if you know Risha, she more of a nigga than a lot of niggas in these leagues. So I ain't showing no shots. I ain't calling no names, but that's facts. So Risha, like I said, Risha took that matchup versus Kimoy. Moving on to Ricky versus Kadeem. Boy, oh boy. They Rude Boy 3-1. Naki another one in his fucking face. I ain't gonna lie, when Rude Boy the fucking play Kadeem, he just see his son, my son. That man a spunky every fucking week, dog. Every time they play each other, that man a just spunky, my son. So it wasn't really much to say when it comes to that matchup. Ricky take that matchup there. King versus Arnie. King pull away down the stretch versus Arnie. That Embiid, LaMelo, and I believe he now have AD to go with that big three. That man points some work. That man points some work for King last week. If you watch the top scorers, King really went up, but Arnie had some good pickups to keep in the game. King just so top heavy, it hard to keep up with him, bro. Like it had to keep up. So King took that matchup right there. Like with King, how he start off, he making trades. One thing about him, he just didn't trade, but he trying to improve. He trying to get his team better. He trying to get back in Big 12. I will start playing with King. Then we had Ish versus Bread. Boy, this I ain't gonna lie. I had to put all my fucking life savings on Bread. I did not see this fucking slaughterhouse coming with fucking Ish. Ish had a tremendous fucking week. Like his players just saw Bread and they just see fucking red. And yeah, my son, that fucker had a week. So that one surprised me. I like what Ish doing. Bread there in the mud. Get out the mud, Bread. Gotta get out the mud. 0-4, Ish 2-2. Then we had Chabo versus Jimbo. Jimbo showing why the fuck he don't belong in tier 3. Get me back in tier 4. He fucking destroyed Chabo. Chabo had a good week, That's a lot of points to score, but I think Jimbo probably scored the most points in all tiers this week. And yeah, you just roll the dice and that shit just didn't land where you wanted to land on. But Jimbo took that week, and that right there is your week 4 recap for tier 3. Now, we're going to move on to the actual power rankings for tier 3. We get Risha at 1, Jed at 2, Jimbo at 3, Ricky at 4, King at 5, Ernie at 6, Ish at 7, Kimoy at 8, Kadeem at 9, Chabo at 10, Ian at 11, and Bread at 12. And that's your power rankings for week 5 tier 3. So, when I'm watching these power rankings, I like what a lot of them doing, and I don't like what a lot of them doing. I feel like some man does trading to trade, and they're not paying attention. Yeah, I say you gotta get 10 trades, but make the trades good, dog. Yeah, I putting pressure under you, but at the same time, think smart. Make the right moves. Don't destroy your team. Some of them going in circles. You trade a star for depth, then you trade back the same depth for another star. It's like y'all just going in a circle. I ain't saying like no type of direction with some man in tier 3. They make more trades this week, but some of them is like I scratch my head and I just be like, I accept, moving on. But watching Bread at 12, like I said, dog, you gotta get out the mud. He's a big Bread fan. You gotta get out the mud, bro. He playing a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. He playing a lot of man. Playing a lot of man that's scoring, and they scoring crazy. Like when you look at his team, he, Chabo, and Jimbo have the highest. And Bread have the highest, but not by much. But Bread have the highest total points scored on him. And I mean, when you watch Jimbo, he scored and he gave 8,000 points, and Chabo gave 7,400, and you barely damn near you reach 7,000 yet, but you're in a 69. So it's like you gotta score, you gotta find a way to score. Yeah, the schedule bad and stuff like that, but you gotta still score, find a way to score some more points. So it's another week. I want the man get out the mud. But we see what going on. We see what going on when it comes to him. And moving on to the week 5 matchup that's right across the board. We have Kimoy versus Ish. We get Jimbo versus Rishad. That's a big game. Bread versus Chabo. Ernie versus Ian. Jed versus Rude Boy. Another big game. King versus Karim. I like that Jimbo versus Richard matchup. I like that matchup right there. That's gonna be very entertaining. I ain't gonna lie, Ish and Kimoy be a low key good matchup if we get the same Ish from last week. But I like Jed versus Ricky. That's a big game. 1-0 and 4. 1-4 and 0 I mean. And the next one is 3-1. That's a good game. That's a good matchup right there. Let's see. I mean, I'll give Ayo my parlay. Brett said, "Don't fucking ever pick me again." So when you bet against Ish, he'll always go off. So this week, I gonna say Ish gonna beat Kimoy. I get Ish to win this week for real. I get Ish to win this week. I get Oh, this a tough one. It's a tough one. But I think Jimbo gonna pull it out. Pause. I think I think Jimbo gonna win this week, man. I think he'll win this week versus Risha. I get Bread versus Chabo. I get Arnie versus Ian. And I get Rude Boy versus Jed. And I get King versus Kadim. That's my parlay for week 3 power rankings. And that's it right there for your power rankings week 5 tier 3. Moving on. So we moving on to tier 2 week 4 recap. We will start off on top. Marvin versus Bash. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't see this one coming. Marvin went and pulled away down the last day when it comes to playing Bash, and it was a neck-to-neck match this whole week. It was a good matchup. Marvin had a great Sunday. He ended up beating Bash. I think Bash was winning going into Sunday, and Marvin just had himself a week. The next matchup we had Brandon versus Ross. This matchup right here, it wasn't a close one. I think Ross had a lead, and it was a good gap the entire week. Not much to say when it comes to that matchup. Then we had Demoy versus Jordan. Demoy, I don't know what happened. I thought Demoy was winning, and then Jordan just explode down the stretch. That Sunday, he just had a great Sunday. Demoy just couldn't hold on, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Good matchup. Jordan get his first win. The next matchup we had Rashawn versus Mr. Draco. That game right there, that's a bust. Yes. That's a bust chest. Them losing by 7 points is like, damn, I could have make one pickup. I could have do something else. I could have, this, if I had do this day, or if I had start this person this day, I'd have win. Like, that's one of those where you just go sleep like, fuck, I fucked up. He was losing by a lot, but he tried. That Sunday, he made a good push. He was just 7 points short. Just 7 points short. But good matchup nonetheless. Then we had Turbo versus JP. Man, JP saying he don't belong in no fucking tier 2. Take he out. Bring he back in fucking tier 3. JP showing he vet skills. Turbo right now 0-4. JP 3-1. JP take that matchup right there. Turbo, you in the mud. You gotta find a way to get out the mud. Slow start. You got a bunch of injuries, but I understand. But at the end of the day, you got a GM, you gotta make some changes, you gotta make some moves. Last matchup we had, this was another good matchup. We had Joel versus Grove. I ain't gonna lie, this was a good matchup, but Joel, like another one, show he vet skills. These rookies don't know. These vets know what the fuck they doing, bro. These vets know what they're doing. Joel went and pulled this win out, and I like it a lot. That was a good competitive week when it comes to tier 2, and they improving day by day, week by week, and that's your tier 2 week 4 recap. And moving on, we're gonna give the power rankings for week 5 tier 2. We have Joel at the 1, Ross at the 2, JP at the 3, Bash at the 4, Draco at the 5, Grove at the 6, Marvin at the 7, Demoy at the 8, Jordan at the 9, Brandon at the 10, Turbo 11, Rashawn is 12. These power rankings is just, Rashawn 0-4 and is like, damn, bro. I talked about it last week, and it's like you got to figure it out. You got to fix your team, bro. You ain't looking too good. You ain't looking too good. But I like the group for tier two. They starting to get out the shell a little bit. I feel like with these leads and I learning that like in a lot. I gotta understand. I know everybody, and everybody don't know everybody. So yeah, they take a minute for certain people to warm up to other certain people. But that's something I learned when it comes to like these group chats, especially like tier one. Like them man really active now. But we talk about them in a minute. Moving on to the week 5 conference matchups, we get Bash versus JP. We get Brandon versus Tobo, Ross versus Marvin, Grove versus Draco, Demoy versus Joel, Rashawn versus Jordan. We're gonna keep it pushing. I get JP to beat Bash. I get Brandon. I ain't gonna lie, this Brandon Tobo matchup good. I ain't gonna lie. But I think I get Tobo to beat Brandon. I get Marvin to beat Russ. Yeah, that's an upset. Yes, I get Marvin to beat Russ. Then I get Grove to beat Draco, Joel to beat Demoy, and I think Rashan will get his first win this week against Jordan. So that's my parlay for tier 2, week 5 conference matchups, and just move on to tier 1. Moving on to tier 1. We're going to start off with a week 4 recap. We had Michael beat Pure. We had Rashid beat Javan. Dylan beat MJ. George beat Kyle. Harry beat Joseph. And Gillo beat Kerry. Looking at these matchups, I ain't gonna lie, that Gillo versus Kerry matchup, that game was close. That went down to the wire. That's another one of those matchups you gotta be like, damn. And you say, look at this. Gillo only with 4 pickups. You know what I mean? Could have lose. And that's what they be talking about with tier 1. And there's another reason why I'd be like, I don't want to talk about these tiers and shit to awk me. Boil. But, I ain't going to talk too much on it. But, yeah, that's your tier 1 week 4 recap. Then we move on to the power rankings. And then we have Rashid at the 1, Michael at the 2, Gillo at the 3, MG at the 4, Javan at the 5, Dylan at the 6, Joseph at the 7, Harry at the 8, George at the 9, Kyle at the 10, Pure at 11, and Kerry is at 12. And that's your power rankings for week 5. When it comes to the power rankings, I hate man that have, I ain't gonna lie, I know how much I got stressed. It's hard to grade people that have Joker, man. It's hard to grade man that have Joker. I'm sorry. Cause I don't know, he having a good year. He have a good team. I ain't gonna lie, he do have a good team though. So I'm gonna Michael surprising me. Gillo surprising me too though. So it's like I get some people in tier 1 that really surprised me this week. Like a lot of man trying to make some moves, a lot of man trying to fix the team. The chat really entertaining. I ain't gonna lie to you, really entertaining. They getting out the shell, and it's a good league, man. It's a good league. I ain't gonna lie, it's a good league. So far, it's a good league. So moving on today, matchups for week 5, the conference matchup. We have Javan versus MJ. We have Kyle versus Rashid, George versus Dylan, Kerry versus Pure, Harry versus Michael, Gillo versus Joseph. Now, these power rankings, they're going to be hard because you don't know what you gain from these motherfuckers. Some of them don't even fucking make all the pickups. So, it'll be so hard to do this. But, hey, I ain't going to lie. I get MJ to beat Javan. I get Rashid to beat Kyle. I get Dylan to beat George. I get Pure to beat Kerry. I get Michael to beat Harry. And I think Gillo gonna beat Joseph. That one right there, that Gillo Joseph is gonna be the matchup of the week. I don't know who gonna win. I really don't know who gonna win that one. But I'm gonna go with Gillo. I'm gonna go with Gillo that matchup. But I don't that matchup can go either or though. And I ain't even watched the schedule, so I don't know who get a better schedule. I just going off the top of my head. So that right there is your tier 1 power rankings for week 5. And then, finishing it off with Tears League, week four top scorers of the week. We have Jimbo, Ish, Rain, Harry, and last Michael. And this is your top five scores, for week four. And like I say this all the time, I appreciate if I make it this far in the episode. Good luck to everybody in week five. It's another big important week. Hope everybody have a good Thanksgiving holiday break also. Love alone to everybody. I'm out.